Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Gary Hibner here, a YouTube guitarist from South Africa, and in this video we're going to be checking out a Solar Baritone. So this is a 27-inch baritone, but more importantly it's got an Evertune. So what I want to talk about in this video is about Evertunes. Is the hype real about them? Do they work? That's some things that we're going to cover in this video. First off, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my bud in South Africa, Stefan. He let me borrow his Solar Baritone here with the Evertune so that I could test it out and see what it feels like and really see what an Evertune is all about. Let's see what this thing sounds like in a full mix. I've got this tuned to drop A and I'm using Otto Audio's 1111 amp sim with the Otto Audio cabs. Let's check this out. So for the guitar tone on the Solar guitar, I'm using the Otto Audio 1111 as the amp sim and then the Otto Cabs Volume 1 for the IRs. If you want to know more about these products, I've got a link in the description, and also I've got discount codes to get 50% off them. But now let's get back to the Evertune. So like you know, if you've seen other videos, the Evertune, the concept behind it is that you've got these saddles that move around that keep this always in key. So even when you're bending your strings and bending back out, it keeps that tuning stability. And basically, I don't think you're ever gonna have to tune this guitar again once you've got it set up correctly. Now that's obviously the first thing. You do need to set this up, and there is a bit of steps in it. You've got 3 different Allen keys that you put in different points to get the intonation, the tuning, and the sort of bending right. Now that's probably one of the first sort of criticisms of the Evertune when you first get it. I know when I first tried it out, this thing was set up all in the sweet spot, meaning that when you bent a string, you really got no bending happening. Now that's really the ingenuity of this bridge. So I'm going to flip to some video over here where you see the back of the bridge, and when you're bending the string up and down, you can see how those saddles are compensating for the bridge. They're moving around and they're keeping the tension. Okay, so let me show you how I've got this set up. So these lower 3 strings, I've got them set up in the bending range, where these 3, there's no bending going on. So watch this. I've got some bending there. Now with these higher strings, watch as I bend, nothing's going to happen. That's really amazing. So no matter how high I bend up, nothing's happening. Now that's really weird. Now I can see why I'd want that set up. You've got the ultimate tuning stability there, meaning if you slightly bending that string, it's always going to retain that key that you got on that fret. Now in reality, you don't really need that. You want to have that bending. So I'd say most of the time you're going to want to tune this thing into the bending range, so you've got some bending happening there. And that's really how you can set this thing up. You can set it up so that your strings, no matter what bending you do, it's always going to stay on that tuning. Or you can set it up where when you're bending, you're getting that flexibility of the bend going sharp, and you can sort of tune into that range with the bridge. So that's really my experience with this thing. I think it's an amazing piece of gear. First off, the solo guitar is great. And then with the Evertune bridge, this does exactly what it says it does. Your guitar is always going to be in tune, and you can just slightly tweak it depending on how you want it to get that bending down in the guitar. So here's my dilemma. I really like an Evertune bridge, but if I wanted to get an Evertune bridge retrofitted onto one of my guitars, I'd have to order and import an Evertune bridge to South Africa and then find someone that could fit and install it, or I could ship one of my guitars out to Evertune and get it retrofitted. Now either way, that's a costly affair for me here in South Africa. So what I'd say is a better way to go if you want to get into Evertune bridges is to find a production model with an Evertune. So you've got your solo guitars here that come with Evertunes, and what I think is going to be really interesting is to see what other companies in the future start fitting Evertune bridges onto their guitar. I'd say that most guitar companies are going to start fitting Evertunes on their production models. So it's going to be really interesting seeing what happens in the future. So that's my views on the Evertune. I think it does exactly what it says. It keeps your guitar in tune. There's a little bit of a setup, but once it's set up, it's just going to work. So I hope you enjoyed that video on my short little rants on Evertunes, on what I think of them and what I think is going to happen in the future. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave some comments below on what you thought. If you're new to the channel or if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and also don't forget to click on that notification bell to be notified of future videos. I've also set up a private Discord server where we can geek out on all things guitar and like the other stuff that we cover in this channel. So low tunings, high gain, amp sims, extended scale, baritone, and all that type of stuff. And if you want to support the channel in other ways, I've also set up a Patreon account with 3 different tiered levels with different benefits. So I'll leave some links to those in the description. So that covers it for this video. I'll check you in the next one.